everyone. So today I am doing my in-service project, which is on functional range conditioning, which is like just a certain philosophy you can get a certificate for. I learned this at my first rotation. I don't know if I think I mentioned it in my video about my first rotation, because my first CI did like functional range conditioning and she also did GOTA. I remember I talked about that, I think. So I've done a couple of these like FRC things with some of my patients at this third rotation, and the clinical director was like, hey, like, why don't you do your in-service on that? And he mentioned that like one of my first few weeks there, and I was like, yeah, like that'd be so cool. So I'm gonna put a little screen record right here of my little like handout that I made, because I'm like pretty proud of it. I like think that it's like good. I don't know, but I'm like freaking out about presenting this because like we have a meeting at noon, which is when I'm presenting. So that's like when we start on Mondays. So like I haven't been at clinic all morning because I don't start till noon. So that's like the first thing I'm gonna do today is present this. And then like we start treating patients at 1, and I'm like literally like shaking. I had like a stress anxiety dream about it last night, that I was like presenting and like nobody was paying attention, and like it was, yeah. So I'm like super freaking out about it, but I wanted to make like a before clip to insert here, and then obviously hopefully I remember to make a clip at the end, tell you guys how it went. So I'm gonna try to get to clinic like a little bit earlier than I normally do, so I can like print this out and everything. I originally was gonna try to make like photos for everything, but with this it's so hard because the motions are so like multi-directional that like doing like still like pictures I thought was gonna be like really hard. So that's why like in my handout it's just like written stuff, and like obviously I'm gonna demonstrate everything during my in-service, but I'm gonna explain to them like the reason why I don't have photos is because like it's hard to capture the whole motion in like still pictures. I used like YouTube videos, you know, to understand like how some of the motions work, because not all of the motions that you can do like I necessarily like learned in my first rotation. There's a few that like we used, can use this like philosophy pretty much at any joint in the body. So like that's what's really cool about it. So I tried to do like, you know, kind of the most common like ones, but yeah, anyway, I wanted to just make a little clip about it beforehand, and hopefully it'll be okay. I'm like, it's not like, I mean, it's kind of cold in my apartment, but I'm like literally shaking. I'm so nervous. I hate presenting things. If you guys watched my capstone presentation, even thinking about that gives me like literal PTSD. Like I get so much anxiety just thinking about what happened with that. So I'm like freaking out because I hate like presenting. Like, okay, it's not even like the presenting, it's the questions after that like I don't know how to answer. And that's what I'm nervous about, is because like the last like presentation that couple of the PTs did, like the clinical director like asked so many questions, and I'm like freaking out that he's gonna ask all these questions and I'm not gonna know the answer to. So anyway, yeah, wish me luck. Okay, that's gonna be it. Okay, bye.
All right, guys, I survived my in-service. I have to put my head here because the sun is wild. So I survived. I did great. I didn't cry, so that is good. And once I like got talking, you know, I like, you know, felt more confident. I felt good like explaining like how to like do the exercises and like demonstrating them, because that was one thing that I was like nervous about, was like actually demonstrating things to do for FRC because they can be kind of difficult. So everything went well. I did get some questions about like, why would you do this? Like how is it different than PNF and like things like that, which I was like a little nervous about, but I think I explained myself pretty well. I'm not gonna really go into detail on it on here. I thought about making like a like video about it, but since I'm not like actually trained in FRC, like I don't want to like, you know, take up their space on YouTube, but there's some really great videos out there. I think the concept is really cool. I hope that like once I am a licensed PT, maybe actually getting certified in it, because I think the philosophy is really great. And like I can still utilize the system without being like certified. Like that's why a lot of times with these in-service projects, usually, you know, they're not just by students, like the other PTs do them as well, so that everybody can kind of learn about, you know, different things and whether they're interested in them, and then we can all kind of like learn from them as well. So I think that was pretty great. Everybody said that it was like one of the most like interactive in-services that they've had, especially by a student. So I felt really great about that. I think it really went really well, and I'm happy that it's over. That's it about that. And then just a quick, you know, update while I'm here. So I only have 2 weeks left of this rotation, this full week and then next full week, but my CI is on vacation next Wednesday through Friday, so I'm with a different therapist. So we'll see how that goes. What's been cool is, I was gonna make a clip about this, so I'm gonna, you know, mention it now. So I have had some like patients that have, so I have this one patient that like literally only wants to work with me. Just so like crazy that like they would like choose and like want to work like with the student. And like she was with a PTA one time and she didn't like it as much, and so she keeps asking about to only work with me, which is great, but you know, sometimes it can be hard because of scheduling and everything, especially because like I work my CI schedule, like I don't have my own schedule. Like I was working on her and like, you know, we were chatting, all kinds of stuff, and I told her, I was like, I'm only here for another 2 weeks, so like, you know, you're gonna have to make some kind of plan. I was really nervous about that. I was like, I learned what I'm doing like from my CI, whose like schedule you're technically on. So if you like me, like you should like her, because I literally learned from her. That was really like interesting that, you know, she just loves me so much. Yeah, because it was like, you know, your patients, like you're here for your, you know, your patients, they're gonna love you. So that was really nice. I'm getting better, you know, with evals. I had an eval today and I think it went great. It was a low back patient with like sciatica, so it was pretty like straightforward, but I've still been able to like get through the eval, work on them a little bit, and give them a few exercises, which is what our goal has been. So I've been doing really well with that. And then today we worked on exercise progression, because like I told my CI last week that it's like really hard for me to do like exercise progression based on patient tolerance. So we had this patient today that like literally has been doing the exact same thing for like weeks. And so she's like, you're gonna progress pretty much everything. Like I want the whole thing kind of changed up. So let me know what your ideas are and kind of what you want to do. So I like put on a sticky note. I was like, okay, I want to progress this to this, this to this, this to this. She was like, okay, sounds good. Like, do it. I'm like, okay. So I ran her through like all the new stuff, and she was actually really appreciative. She was like, I really like that we're doing new things. I really, you know, I'm enjoying this. So I was like, okay, great. She had a partial knee replacement, so she still gets like some like knee pain, especially like kind of on like the inside of her knee. So just kind of working on that. So she did get some discomfort with some things, but I tried to work on her like mechanics, and like her foot placement and things were like really important. So it went really well, and I was pretty proud of myself. So for progressing and things like that. That's pretty much it for just a quick little update on some things that have been going on. But yeah, 2 more weeks left. It's probably just gonna make like a last clip, I would think, unless something like extreme happens. I mean, maybe I'll make one like, you know, during the time that my CI is gone and I'm with a different PT, because I'm a little nervous about it, because I don't know, I'm afraid that they're just gonna like throw me in and like treat everyone. We'll see how it goes. Okay, well, thanks for watching so far, and we're almost done. Okay, all right, I'm going home now. Bye. All right, hi guys, I am making a clip because I am actually at Oregano's. I don't know if you can tell back there, but we are going to go over my final. By we, I mean my CI and I. So since she is going on vacation later this week, she won't be there like for my actual like last day. So she thought that it would be nice to kind of go over my final in a like non-stressful environment, which I appreciate. So we decided to go to Oregano's and grab dinner and kind of go over my final and everything, because I'm only with her next 2 days, so Monday and Tuesday, and then she goes on vacation and I'm with a different therapist. I know I've mentioned that a couple times. I did like my portion yesterday, so I have to like basically review myself. There's like all these different like sections on like, you know, professional ethics and communication and evaluation, examination, patient safety, like different things like that. And there's like, I have to rate myself and like make a comment and everything, and then I send that to my CI, and then she does like the same thing. Overall, I feel like I've done pretty well at this rotation. I feel like I at least have the skills to, like with evals, like I know enough to get like the basic information. So even though like, you know, with more complex patients, like I still struggle with like figuring out what's going on, but I think I have enough skills to at least get some like baseline information and then go from there. So with physical therapy, like it's kind of figuring out like if somebody's coming in with just like generic like pain or whatever, then trying to figure out like how to reduce it and how to give them, you know, some like pain management skills or like things like that. So like I have one patient that has like really bad like hip flexor pain when she like gets in and out of her car. So like when she has to do like that motion, like really aggravates her. And like we've been working on like, you know, trying to release some tension in the hip flexors, trying to strengthen her like glutes and her posterior chain, and she's still really not having much of a difference. So we tried like new things last time. We tried figuring out like if it was better if she was in a pelvic tilt versus, you know, something else. And I know a lot of, you know, what I'm saying won't make sense to you if you're not in physical therapy, but anyway, so a lot of it is trying to come up with like what's going on. So anyway, the whole point about that is that I feel like I have enough skill to at least get some measurements and some like objective information and then kind of go forward from there. I've done way better at coming up with exercises and progressions. So like, am I perfect? No, of course not. Like, I'm a student, almost new grad. Like, it's going to take time and practice for me to get those skills and to be more confident with it. But overall, like, you know, just going through watching these videos over and seeing the difference in how I felt, like, you know, even week 4 versus this is about to be my week 10. I feel like I have gained a lot more skills and I'm excited to finally be done. So I'm hoping that my CI feels the same way. So we'll see how it goes with going over my final. I'll make a little clip after this, hopefully. I got here a little bit early. She's running like a tad behind, so I'll probably go inside here in a minute, but just wanted to make a little clip for this. And maybe I'll post like, you know, a picture of my food or whatever, but I probably won't, like, she doesn't know about my YouTube channel, not that I care, but like, you know, most people don't want to be on YouTube, which is fine. So I probably won't, like, you know, post like anything like with her, just for like privacy and everything. Like, I haven't even, like, you know, said her name because I don't want, like, you know, anything, like, you know, whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I feel like I've done pretty well, so I'm hoping that my last 3 days with the other PT, which apparently she's seeing 24 patients on Wednesday. She has 24 patients on her schedule, which means I'm seeing half of those. I'm seeing 12 of them, and she's seeing the other 12. That is going to be wild. So we'll see how that goes. And she's like the like sports med PT, which she's the one that I followed like that for that 3 hours in that morning a little like couple weeks ago. So like I'm excited to like, you know, see how she does things, but like I don't know how this is gonna go, like with me just like treating people and then she's gonna treat people. Like, it's gonna be interesting. So I'll definitely, you know, be making a clip at some point with that, whether it's like the last day or whatever. But yeah, it's finally coming to an end, and I like can't believe that it's finally here. I'm gonna get that DPT, baby. So officially will be Dr. Watson in 5 days, and that's a pretty good feeling. So all right, well, I'm gonna go inside and go over my final, get some good food, and we will chit chat later. All right, I'm back from dinner with going over my final and just chatting with my CI. So that was really nice to just like sit and kind of chat. We had to go over my final pretty quick because her phone was dying, but we're pretty much on the same page with everything for that. She, you know, thinks that what I had said earlier, how like my examinations, like and initial evals have gotten a lot better. My exercises and coming up with things have really improved. Complex patients I still like struggle with, but like that'll just come with time. Like even as a new grad, like that's just something, you know, as you see more patients, then that'll come. Because so she said that she talked to one of her mentors and they told her that like she shouldn't expect to, you know, me to be at the same place after just 10 weeks as she is like a year and a half out. So that'll just take time to kind of, you know, get there, which is basically what I said as well. Like I can at least get the basic stuff down, but as I get more experience and, you know, see more patients, then that should get better with time. But she is so sweet. Hold on, let me figure out how to hold this. She got me a little bottle of Prosecco. So actually really like this brand. I don't know if that's really catching that very well, but anyway, a little bottle of that. And then she got me this cute card and an Amazon gift card. So that was super sweet. But this card, I have to show you, it's really cute. Hopefully this isn't backwards. So you worked hard, really, really hard. And then on the inside it says, put in the hours, battled the frustrations, gave of your blood, sweat, and tears, and now finally it all paid off. Congratulations. So that was super sweet. She said, congrats, you did it. You were a doctor and no one can take that away from you. It's been so nice to get to know you and work with you. Good luck with everything in the future. So thank you so much for that. That was so sweet of her. And then I, like I did with my other CIs, am gonna bring a cookie box from Nom's Bake Shop, which is the bakery that my fiance works at. So my CI loves cookies. So I am so excited to give this to her. Hopefully I get the box tomorrow, so I'll put in like a picture or something of it here when I get it, or post it after this, something like that. But I'm really excited, you know, because with my other CIs, if you've seen my videos, I always get them a custom engraved wooden box, so it has like the name of whatever the clinic is, and then like their name and, you know, whatever their credentials are. So I'm excited to give that to her because I think she's gonna be so obsessed. Because I haven't even like really told her, like, I mean, I've mentioned to like other people like what Tony does, but I haven't really like talked about the bakery much. So I think she's gonna be so excited. So anyway, that was just really nice to just kind of have a non like stressful environment to go over that. And then we just kind of talked and went over stuff because she's going on vacation later this week, I'm going on vacation next week, and so she was just telling me to, you know, take this time, like there's no rush like to do anything. She did tell me a little bit about like Spooner's kind of model. I am also going to talk to the clinical director on Thursday, I think I mentioned that, kind of about Spooner as like a company. And, you know, I just have some questions about like their expectations for new grads and like things like that. I did sign up for DPT Steph. She is a person on Instagram that does a lot of like PT school student content. So I signed up for her new grad series a little while ago. So I'm going to go over that and kind of see what she suggests as far as like resumes and interviews and stuff go. So even though it's not like an official interview, I don't think, I still kind of want to have some ideas of like what kind of questions I should ask or what I should look for, so that I kind of have, you know, a baseline in case I do consider working for a Spooner in the future, just so I kind of know what their like expectations are, I guess. So we'll see how that goes, and yeah, just keep watching for the last week. And, you know, depending on how I want to lay this video out, I did decide to make it into 2 parts, so this will be part 2 if you're watching. So hopefully it stays only with 2 parts. I don't want it to be too long. First part was like almost exactly 30 minutes, so I think that's like enough as it is. I know my videos are usually pretty long. What are you gonna do? But anyway, I'm gonna stop talking and I will catch you guys in the next clip. Thanks for being here.
So today was my last day of clinical rotations, which means I am officially Dr. Anna Watson, DPT, Doctor of Physical Therapy, aka Dr. Watson. So we made it, fam. It was a wild ride and we finally made it. I honestly never thought this day would come. It felt so far away all the time. So it still like really hasn't hit me yet, honestly. So that's crazy. Obviously I have to make a final last clip to kind of just wrap everything up. So like I said in one of my other clips, I'm pretty sure I haven't reviewed all of this in a few days, but my CI went on vacation. So my last day with her was on Tuesday, and so I had a different physical therapist that I was shadowing for the last 3 days. So that's been pretty great. I was afraid that they were just going to like throw me in and like literally have to treat like every single patient, but she didn't do that to me, which was nice because she's the like sports med PT, so she has a lot of patients that like specifically come to see her. So like some of the ones she was like, yeah, I have to treat this patient, which I totally understand. And then like I think in the last 3 days we only had like 1 eval, and she took it because it was a like young athlete, so that's kind of like her wheelhouse. So not that I couldn't do it, but just that, like, you know, it was my last day, so it just made more sense for her to do the eval, since like I've done enough evals, let me tell you. So, you know, since I won't be there to see his treatment, it was just easier for her to do it, and then I was still able to, like, you know, watch and observe and learn and everything. So I still got a good learning experience out of that. I didn't get, you know, thrown into the fire, which was good. Yesterday, her schedule was pretty much like 90% of my patients that I've been treating the last 10 weeks. So I took like pretty much most of her caseload. We only worked from 11 to 5, and like most of the patients were mine. I think she saw maybe like 3 or 4 of them, and I saw everybody else. So that was like, you know, pretty good. The last few days have been not too bad, and I've been, you know, working and, you know, just treating who she's been giving me, and it's been great, a great learning experience. She kind of just let me loose a little bit more than I have been used to, which I like was kind of nice in the sense that I had to like, it had to like force me to like be confident in making decisions. So I feel like a lot of times like I would use my CI more as like a crutch because I am not as confident. So like she'd be there and I'm like, oh well, like what would you do, what would you think, kind of thing. Whereas like she wasn't there, so like I would be like, oh, I need to ask her, and I'm like, well, you know, I'm just gonna make a decision and hope that that's okay. You know, obviously it wasn't any like major like issues, like it didn't have to do with patient safety or anything, so everything there was fine. Kind of overall, I mean, you've been watching this journey right alongside with me, so you've seen kind of everything that's happened the last 10 weeks, so I don't need to really do like that big of a summary. But yeah, this experience was really great. I really liked this rotation. I did have like a sit down with the clinical director, and he kind of asked me questions about, you know, what I learned, what was my favorite part, what do I feel like I still struggle with, things like that. And then he just talked to me about like Spooner as a company and kind of their like model and things that they do, just to kind of give me a kind of overview just in case. And, you know, if I need any help with resumes or interview questions or anything, he is willing to help me out with that. He's really good like with mentoring and things like that. So like overall, I think Spooner has like a really good like work model. So I may, you know, end up working there in the future. Maybe not that specific clinic, but you never know. So obviously everybody always asks me like what my next plan is. Obviously, because I think I mentioned this, but now I have to wait until October to take my board exam, which means that I won't have a like PT job for the next couple months because I have to wait to get licensed. So I don't obviously have any jobs lined up or anything like that, but I will start looking probably in like, you know, September-ish maybe, just kind of get a feel for what's out there. And then, you know, once I am licensed after October, then hopefully I'll have enough like interviews and have something set up by then. So obviously, you know, we'll make some kind of update or something. So, but this won't be Diaries of a PT Student anymore because I am no longer a student after today. So it'll be Diaries of a Physical Therapist in Waiting. Or, you know, so I do have my doctorate degree, so I am officially a doctor of physical therapy, but I'm not a physical therapist yet because you have to get licensed. So that's the next step. So I'm not sure, you know, what else to talk about. I just wanted to obviously make a last kind of ending outro to this video, and, you know, I just really proud of myself for all the work that I have put into this. PT school was probably the hardest thing that I've done so far in my life. It was definitely a challenge. Obviously, having a global pandemic in the middle of it did not make life any easier, and you know, everything with that and having to retake a class. But you know, I got through it. I persevered. I continued to go because I know that physical therapy is what I want to do. So I'm finally done with school, and that is a huge blessing, and I'm just so grateful to have gone, you know, through everything. I know I have still struggled with, you know, was it worth it and things. I know I mentioned that in one of my clips in this video at some point about whether all of the struggle was worth it, and you know, it's hard to say because it was definitely very difficult and very challenging, but you know, I still made it through. I still survived, and we are continuing to do the thing, and I know that I'll be a good physical therapist, and you know, just got to get through one final exam, which does not define me as a clinician. It's just a test. So, you know, I'm going to put the work in. I've gone through 3 years of PT school. I finished clinicals. I did all the things. So it's just kind of refreshing all of this knowledge and everything that I've learned, and take one last final stupid multiple choice exam. But that's all we have left to do. So thank you all so much for being here and for watching this journey. If you've gone through my TCE 1, 2, and 3 and all of the parts in between, because it was, you know, it was a lot. 30 weeks of clinicals is a lot. So thank you guys for all watching and being here and supporting me. I know this is just like a little baby YouTube channel in, you know, some far corners of the internet, and you know, I do plan on also making other videos as well, not just, you know, physical therapy videos, but since this has been literally my like one and only thing for the past 30 weeks, I pretty much have not had time for anything else. But I do have some other things in mind. I am going on vacation next week. I may or may not vlog it. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to a family reunion, so there's going to be 1 million people there. So it might be difficult for me to vlog that just because privacy and, you know, things like that. So we'll see if I make a video for that. But otherwise, yeah, again, thank you so much for just watching, and even just for me making these so that I can look back on them has been cool to kind of see my progression and how much I've grown during all of these rotations. So it's been great, and I hope that you stick around for whatever comes in the future. Obviously the NPTE, and then, you know, where I get a job. And so if you want to watch along for the ride for all of that, and whatever other videos I have up my sleeve, because why not? So I kept my name badge on because take it off because hopefully this isn't backwards. Student physical therapist. It's officially not a student any longer, so no longer have to wear my name badge, and it's an exciting time. So that's gonna be it for this video, and see you guys later.